early evening, or good evening, 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, August 18th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I really appreciate everybody tuning in already. Wow, there's already 31 people in here. Was there really that many people here? That's 2 days in a row with over 30 people right when I turn it on. That's crazy. That is crazy. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure if you're tuning in after the live, you hit that like button. There's a lot of stuff to talk about here. Is this a real recovery that we've had? Is this just a short-term pullback up? Or is this something more? We've had a lot of news come out today. The Bitcoin ETF was delayed again until the 22nd, which is convenient because we all know that's the BRICS showdown. So the BRICS are going to announce what some think is going to be the gold standard on the 22nd. Yeah, Savage. Very interesting that that's the date. It's very interesting that that's the date they chose. What is this shit? Well, let me go through just the early comments. I might not be able to get to everybody because there's a lot already here, and it keeps 1970 legend ATK. A couple of you I already talked to. Miss Vicky, welcome in, love. Eddie, Flex XRP, Cruz, JW, welcome in. Won't be around for the live, but I love your brother. You brother hanging for a bit. I appreciate that, JW, so much. Sadar, welcome in. Back off now. Brett, good evening. Matt. Let's see. I think we're getting through this. We're about to get into this. Donald, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. John Hall, welcome. Terry, welcome. I love that you love these lives, and I love when you're here. Jerry's welcome in. Jerry's. Taco Role Plays. Hey, bro, thank you for being here daily to help us all with your knowledge. Hope you feel the appreciation because you deserve everybody. Oh, I feel the appreciation. More so now than ever. Dean, good evening. Thank you, Miss Vicky. XRP Stu, trading with J-Ride. Mr. Tony Carter, welcome in. Hashtag mother second choice. Colin Orr, good evening. Savage. David Greening. KM. Wow, there's a lot of people in here tonight. Crypto Rogue, Roger. Codizer. Jose, welcome in, and I'm glad you made it back home safe after your 3-week vacation. X-Wing, good evening. Jan, welcome in, love. Mohammed, good evening. MC Prosperity and Jay also watching tonight. I appreciate you all. JB Blaze, good evening. All right. Now that we got that done with. See, it's always nice to hear your own name. Harris, tell us. I do tell it like it is. Just a gift and a curse of mine. So, the uptrending support here with just real quickly. For anybody who's tuning in who might not be familiar with what happened with the XRP price action yesterday, and we're going to go into the market cap real quick as well. So, first of all, does anybody know what's going on here with this candle? Can anybody tell me what this is? Because in the 4 hourly, this is not what I like to see. We're just going to start it off here. We don't like to see that in the 4 hourly. We'll learn something here right now. Do you know what kind of doji that is? And it is the opposite of a dragonfly, ladies and gentlemen. And one could constitute it as it could be your final resting place. That's the only hint I'm giving you. Do you know what kind of doji? Yes. Well, almost. It's a XRP on CLT, very close. MC Prosperity, welcome in. Yes, gravestone, absolutely. No, it is not. It's not that it's not a good doji, but you see, it's good to understand what it means. So, for anybody who doesn't know what it means, basically it means that we have more sellers than buyers here. Even though the candle is green, it's showing a lot more selling pressure here, which, well, we don't want gravestones because we just passed away. We want gravestone dojis. So, the gravestone doji. The term gravestone doji refers to a bearish indicator commonly used in trading by technical analysts. The gravestone doji is a bearish reversal candlestick pattern that is formed when the open, low, and closing prices are all near each other with a long upper shadow. The long upper shadow suggests that the bullish advance of the beginning of the session was overcome by bears by the end of the session. this often comes just before a longer term bearish downtrend. So that is what we're asking ourselves now. What comes next? Because now the next 4-hour candle, this is hinting right now that it's bearish in the 4-hourly. That's a gravestone doji. It ends in 7 minutes. There's no reason to even fight it. I mean, we can look to see, so that you guys, if you don't know what it is. Michael, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in. 1970 Legend, good evening. Moax, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning into the live. I'm glad you're able to find it. JW, Jason Ruckley, good evening. You're late. You're not really that late. It just started 5 minutes. 107 people in here already. Holy. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. 57 likes. Make sure to hit that like button, as it will greatly help push my content. And you know what? The bottom line is, if you like it, more people like you and I will find their way here, and we'll get more information together. So this is your candlestick patterns. Where did it go? So these are the three, just so everybody knows. Right now we're doing the first. That's the gravestone doji. The middle one's the long leg doji, which is an equal shadowing on both sides. The dragonfly doji is a complete inverse of this, and it's actually a bullish indicator that we have more of a bullish price action here within the candle. But as you've seen yesterday in the shorter time frames, that doesn't necessarily mean anything if you get a strong return. So right now, this is indicating we're probably going to be bearish to start the next candle. Now, what does that mean? That could, maybe we come down to 49 cents again. Or if we show some strength here, we could pull up on the next candle and invalidate it. But this is telling us right now, being a gravestone doji, that we've got an issue. We've got a little bit of an issue here to start. That doesn't mean that we're breaking down all the way. It doesn't mean that it's over. It doesn't mean that the pattern's just done. But what it means is we've got a problem. That's it. We've got a problem. Now, as it's in our best interest to hold this area, we know we have a problem already. If we just got into the weekly, what were we talking about yesterday that we desperately need to get above and hold? The 200-day, that's correct. Everybody's so smart in here. 51 cents needed to hold. Now, if it doesn't, we'll come back down at worst, or minimally, if it's just best case scenario, 488, probably come down there and retest. If you break past through that point, again, you have two supports right now. While the 43 cents from the swing low, if we go to the lower time frames, and we'll get into the XRP market cap, I promise. But if, sorry, this is in my, there we go. So if we go into the 30-minute time frame right now, XRP, we've got the support right here. This is where we're going to try to hold if we break down. That's if, in fact, that this 4-hour plays out properly. It's only an indicator. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. But right now, that looks like a gravestone, so we have to prepare for it. So all that means is we're going to come down for some support. Now, I'll tell you, our goal in this candle is to hold the 488. You do not want to come down lower than that previous candle. That's a very bearish move. If you come down here and consolidate and hit this support again and hold, this is fine. This would be fine. This would actually be a sign of strength here, and it would be standard operating procedure. And that would be a good thing. But this is already telling us we're looking at an overly bearish start on the next start of the daily, which is fine. The daily was basically, gave us a little bit today, not much. I mean, now we're dead even, so it didn't give us anything. For a moment before, whoops. Let's go back into the daily just for a second. So there's your daily. See, this is not a bad thing. If the daily closes here, that means we've successfully had a daily close like we talked about yesterday, back inside the ascending triangle. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's just we might start off with an overly bearish sentiment here to start, which after a correction candle, I mean, you have to expect at some point we're going to get another rally down. It has to happen. Hopefully 488 is all it needs, but you could theoretically, I mean, you've all been a part of this market for a long time now, some of you who are in here. Would it surprise you at all if the market now, we came up, whoops. Sometimes it's interesting with all the comments because I keep them on my screen. I'll go to press something and I think I hit a button and I don't, and then I start talking and I'm actually not doing anything. But anyhow, this came down. Now, if we did get rejected up here at the 51 cents in the weekly, and now we come back down, would it surprise anybody if you created some kind of W reversal farther down? Or do you think this is starting to build out like something like that? Because right now, we've already got a few signals that tell us we're probably going to have to get more liquidity here. Maybe it's not a big dump. You know, maybe it's just a small move down. But that candle makes me nervous. That 4-hourly gravestone, they call it that for a reason. You're looking a little bearish. But what I'm saying is maybe it just needs a quick tap again. Maybe it comes down to, 488. And we hold this ascending triangle. But I'm not going to hide from the fact that this candle looks the way it does. It would be foolish of us. So this is telling us we're probably starting bearish to start the next daily. And that's in 2 minutes. So, Sir Can, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in. Is XDC at ERC20 token? Well, I mean, I think it's, is it part of that classification? It might be. I just look at it as ISO token. It probably is an ERC token, XDC, ERC. I think it is. Yeah, it is. No? The XDC platform is fully compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine. Therefore, XDC uses the ERC20 smart contract template on the My Contract platform to issue new tokens on the XDC network. So it is. Looks like it, well, it uses it at least. I don't know, that's a tricky question. That's just what it says. Hey, Tom, question. What do you think the BRICS announcement on the 22nd will do to the markets? That is a loaded question if I have ever heard one, Jan. And thank you so much for bringing it at me right now. If they announce the new gold-backed standard, it's gonna single-handedly announce the end of the dollar. And if that happens, it could bring very interesting times for the market. Now remember, this candle means everything right now. If we have a bearish overtone, but if we could get a nice start to the candle here, we could invalidate it. We could absolutely invalidate it. No, don't worry, Miss Vicky. No sorries here. I didn't even really know. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's a good question. I think, well, the rumor is they're going to announce a new gold-backed stand, like a new a way around the U.S. dollar for the BRICS. When buying petrol, they're going to announce that they'll buy it in gold. That's the rumor. So if they do that and they go to a gold-backed setup, we're in some trouble here because the U.S. dollar, I think, and I think it's pretty correlated here when you look at the artificial pump up here for no reason. This is in a rising channel, everybody, by the way. The dollar is in a rising channel. This is going to be a bearish reversal, and it almost looks like it's ready to dump on Monday. I don't know if anybody knows the date on Monday, but that's a pretty substantial date with the BRICS. Or Tuesday, I mean. But Monday, it looks like it's setting up. Tuesday is the day. So, if this is setting up a rising channel, the funny thing is here, if that's the case, if we finally got rejected, look at gold. That is doing the exact, that's a falling channel. That's a bullish reversal at the bottom. And they generally come all the way back up. So this would come all the way back up here to retest 1928. As simultaneously, the US dollar would come all the way back and likely retest somewhere in the it's either 102 spot 60 or it would come all the way back down and retest these areas, likely 101 spot 16. So with the BRICS doing that, we have to pay attention to the dollar and everything. But what does it mean for us? It could mean the end of the US dollar as we know it. It already is going to happen eventually. But that's why I keep saying we don't know with the prices of crypto. We don't know the prices with gold and silver. We don't know anything yet until we hear what they have to say. If they say something so crazy and they just say we're done using the US dollar for petro, it's basically over here. We're a debtor nation now. We don't make anything. So for the USA, we would turn into Venezuela, not overnight. But I mean, people think I'm joking. Literally, because of inflation, they've already valued the dollar against one BRICS, whatever they're going to call it. Call it BRICS gold if you want. It would take $55 in the USA to equal $1 of BRICS. Well, unfortunately for everybody here who thinks everything's cheap, well, we buy a lot of stuff from China, whether we like it or not. That's where it comes from. Ever look at your stuff, everything says China for the most part. Even if you buy stuff on Amazon, wherever, it says China. Go to the local grocery store, China. The problem with that is they're part of the BRICS nations. So if it's really valued like that, you know, the example is, hey, if something costs $10, now it would cost us $550. And people think it's a joke, but if that's how it takes, you know, if it happens, Terry, it took the euro 50 years to become acceptable as a recognized currency. Yes, Terry, it did, but we're talking about a whole different game here. You got to understand, when there's no more liquidity left and something's so oversaturated, nobody's ever printed money like the U.S. So, you know, that's something we're going to have to pay the piper here for. I agree with you. In the past, it's taken a long time. We're not in the past. This is different. Every time we've had a change of money, remember how quick the U.S. went from the gold standard? Nobody thought it could happen that quick. Overnight, they turned it illegal to own gold. Went back to the gold-backed standard, or went away from it. Why? Because we couldn't pay our bills. When they went away from the gold standard, that was the first time the USA openly acknowledged that we don't have the money. So they opened the printing presses, and you could not do it when it was linked to gold. You couldn't do it. You had to borrow gold. Well, we all know in the Federal Reserve, or at the old holding spot for the USA, there's no gold sitting there. We all know it. So that's why they went away from it. Now, we have a whole different problem. If they devalue it, that's why I keep saying precious metals with your profits. Instead of just putting it in the bank, that's what we've been learning. So, this doesn't, I mean, we'll see here in the market cap. We're hoping that this doesn't play bear flag, because really, you see what they do to you? You see what they do, and we can see it in real time. This is how they mess with people. Okay, so this is down. Well, if you come back up, it created a bull flag. Well, if you just take away the wick, it's still a bear flag. So what is it? Is this actually a bear flag or a bull flag? That's the thing. Can somebody tell me? And this is the same for the XRP chart. Is it a bear flag or bull flag on the pullback up? Like, which angle is it playing? Bear flag, technical target here. Bull flag, technical target here. It's so stupid. Like, what are we looking at here? Oh, savage. Savage, savage. Listen, I don't speak politics in here, but I'll tell you right off the bat. Blue, red, the fact that you think Trump actually caused this, or if anybody thinks Biden's doing this, you've lost, my friend. Stop with that. Your emotions already blinded you. Had nothing to do with Trump. He was just there for half the country. Biden's there for the other half. The sooner you realize politics mean nothing, the better off you're going to be in life. Trust me. Right now, you're so caught up in the narrative that you have no idea what you're talking about. And I'll give you a free pass. And it's not even that I like Trump, or I hate Biden, or I like Biden, or hate Trump. It's the truth. So what is this right now? This looks like Mario when you had the half flag. Like, hey, we're trying to jump and we only hit it halfway and now it's coming back down. Like, is it being lowered or raised? Like, this is what the manipulators do. Like, this is the stuff that never gets talked about. Like, if you're a technical trader, how are you looking at that? Yes, savage. Oh no, we're not talking politics, period. I don't talk politics. So, what is this? Is that a bear flag or a bull flag? I mean, honestly. Yes, we are positive in here. And I believe that politics is a thing for division. We're not trying to divide each other in here. We're trying to become one. So you can't divide. Divide and conquer. Remember, we're trying to unify, not divide. Positivity over negativity. We don't play the winner. Remember when I used to say, oh, see, Trump did this, he caused this. Oh, it's Biden's fault, it's the government. That's playing the victim. You want to play the winner. How do we invest properly? How do we transfer out of currency, which is the US dollar, into real money, which can be crypto and precious metals, because you can pay across borders with them. They're not restrictive to your own native currency. That's real money. That's why crypto is going to play a huge part in the next chapter, as gold and silver is. Precious metals. You want both. I don't care what anybody says. They work together best. Gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies are best worked together. Just like I tell everybody, XRP, XLM, XDC, we have to have them all together, H-bar and all that. We're not trying to divide what we have and try to say which one's better. We're trying to understand that it's a big game here, and there's a lot that are going to be used in this next frontier. XRP is our favorite choice, but the 3Xs are important. All this stuff is important. John, not sure if you covered, Tom, but what happened yesterday to make that massive up and down so quickly in XRP and many others? Many things. Well, two main things. Elon Musk, the narrative was he dumped $353 million in Bitcoin. The reality was, does anybody know the big news? What was the actual news? Who defaulted and was $28 billion that can't pay their debts? Does anybody know? I like to see how much the audience knows. Yes, thank you, Jay. Evergrande. $28 billion they announced that they couldn't pay. So they filed Chapter 15. So all that played into it. But this really, I mean, what really played into it? The trading bots. This had to happen anyhow. We talked about how we could correct way down, but you need a catalyst one way or the other. That just helped with the retail investors. I just think what happens right now is these are gigantic, very secretive transfer of wealth in the countries. This is how the rich get richer and retail gets hammered. Because right now we should be talking accumulation. Most people are trying to swing trade. That's not how the rich people do it. They're not swing trading. They don't have to swing trade. They acquire through the bottom of a bear market. Watch it go up and down. They reposition because they're not buying it when it goes up. They're only positioning when it comes lower. And if they haven't come in, they wait for big dumps like this. That's how $4 billion. So ask yourself, how did we recover? And this is a funny thing. Not funny, but in a matter of, think about this. And if somebody wants to say it's not manipulated, I would love to hear the argument. So imagine the market's so bearish that we went from 30.25 billion on a wick down all the way to 23.1 billion. That means we lost about $9 billion in market cap. It's so bearish. We're dumping out. It's so crazy. Nobody wants to buy this garbage, right? All of a sudden, like some miracle, in the next 45 minutes, we found $4.5 billion worth of buys. What a miracle. I mean, what a miracle. I mean, look at this. What a miracle. Big dump, volumes crashing. We had 1.4 billion coming in the market cap in 45 minutes. Again, by some miracle, now we're getting 3 times the volume on the pullback up and the consolidation. I mean, doesn't that look manipulated? Doesn't that look bearish in tone? The fact that on the dump, the volume's much less than just the consolidation? Something's not right here. Something isn't right. Amen to that, Donald. Amen to that. Yes, MC Prosperity, it very well could be the plunge protection team, and I'm assuming you're talking about the old big boys that come in and buy up all the government bonds, all the liquidity, which is just us printing money, and then buying all these assets up to make it look better. Not to mention, everybody, you want to see something else? Ask yourself this question, ready? This is something I found fascinating yesterday. Remember, we lost $9 billion in market cap. Can anybody read there the total volume of market cap that was dumping? Or the total market cap that came in? Well, the total in that big wash supposedly was 1.4 billion. But we lost 9 billion in that 45-minute candle. I mean, these are just the anomalies that I would love to hear explained. But that, I mean, how does that happen? How do these things happen? Like, how do you dump $9 billion worth, but you only have 1.4 billion in liquidity moving? These are the things we have to ask ourselves. All this tells me is they turn the buys off for a minute and just let the straight sells come through and wash everything. Like, literally, you had some exchanges, especially BITGET, the one I tell you, the last one that I would never use, and this is a perfect reason yesterday. BITGET went all the way down to 31 cents from what I've been told by multiple people to liquidate. You know, some people, like I told you, I don't like the leverage trade because even at 5x or 2x, you can get liquidated in a split second. You know, yesterday, even if you would have took a short out at 5x, you were liquidated in like 7 minutes. At 5x. That means it would have had to have been about an 18% move. It's not safe. XRP on some exchanges move 40%. That means even if you were doing a 2x, you can't 1x leverage. Even if you were doing a 2x, you got liquidated from 2x up. I mean, think about that. 31 cents. 31 cents it came down from, or down to. I know, for real, JW. It's, there's a lot of people that, because we live by where the Dream Cruise and stuff and all that cool stuff is at, we're not too far from there. So a lot of people use our road to cut by, which we get to see a lot of cool cars and whatnot. Man, there's a lot of conversation in here. 145 people watching. That makes perfect sense. Make sure you hit that like button. Only 97 likes. I think we need to get the like buttons up. If you hit that like button, more people like you and I will find their way in here. I'll say what I always say, and this always helps me get likes. If you don't want to hit the like button and you want to show me support, you can very easily send me a YouTube super chat because you appreciate the time, you appreciate the fact that I don't do paid advertisement, paid sponsorships, or paid promotions of any kind. And you appreciate the fact that I have not missed a day since March of 2021, and that's true. Or you can join Tom's Army because you really want to pay it forward. But really, all you have to do is hit that like button. It's free. If you want to show generosity, that's great. You have to not be inside the chat. You have to hit back if you're on the phone. Because if you're in the chat, it won't let you hit the like button. You have to hit outside of it real quick. But we're doing much better now. See, I told you that works every time. That 2-second spew works every time. Because for me, a donation's great, but you hitting that like button is just as valuable. In order for me to get pushed to another person, more people, for YouTube to push me through the algorithm, you gotta hit the like button. They don't care about me, but they have no choice if they want their revenue cut. If we're getting enough people in here, they find a way to advertise. 26.2 billion here, or 26.3 billion is where we're trying to hold. Is it a little bit higher? But anyhow, did anybody answer that question? And I'm gonna light my relaxation, my cannabis. I know we're like 30 minutes in, but I think this is a good time to do it because we're gonna have to really look into this, and we got to figure out what's going on here. Bill, I appreciate that. I care about each and every one of you too. That's why I come here every single day. Sean Crothers, welcome in, my main man from Maine. Terry, 10 years of quantitative easing caused the growth in crypto. Big part of it. We talked about it in 2021. We had $5 billion or $5 billion in volume plus in XRP in the weekly. Right now in this push up, we only had 500 million roughly. So yeah, you can see the difference in the quantitative easing cycle when they could print money relentlessly and put it into the markets. So with XRP, as we know, we closed on a long leg doji in the 4-hour on a gravestone doji in the 4-hour time frame. So really, this is basically the fake out part. Unless we can get over 51 cents, this is going to turn bearish here at some point in this 4-hour time frame. So please, before you do anything, if you're going to go long and you're going to try to play some kind of crazy trade, you must break this resistance. Otherwise, it's a trap. This is telling us we're overtly bearish right now, but it can be a fake out. That's why we said it could be a fake out, but it looks bearish from the onset. Looks bearish. I love getting pictures, yes. I love getting everything. People just stopped sending stuff. That was all. I always tell everybody, if you want to send me something, here, I'll put it in the chat so you can see my email. And this is even if I trust you, I've given certain people my address. Someone sent me Ernie Lightning. He's been busy lately. But a few people send me some stuff. Yes, it could be another fake out, exactly. That's what we mean. That's why this candle is everything. If we can break this 5105, that would be a nice bullish testament here. However, if we break past the 501 and you don't have as much room, you want to try to hold this candle right here, and that's the 488 support. It actually lines up very nicely. Ted, you could have bought at 80 cents and bought back at 60. Why stop there? You could have bought back at 43. That's all strategy, my friend. It's all about the cycle. If it was 2021, I would have been right there with you. 2023, I'm firmly with the accumulation mindset right here. 2021 is where I took my profits. 2023 is where I told myself it's accumulation. Me too, Ted. Bingo. Ted, you have hit the nail on the head. Capital gain stopped him from trading short term. Me too. I told everybody I would have sold it not at 94 because we didn't know that was going to be the high. Remember how we came all the way down? What I've taught everybody? You wait for the big consolidation, then you sell at that peak at 85 cents. So I wouldn't have sold at 94, so I don't even try to trick people. I'm being realistic. I would have sold at 85. I would have doubled my money and then some because I bought at 34.5 cents. Actually, it would have been about 130, 140 probably percent. Then I would have rebought back in, and I wouldn't have. This is the problem. Where do you buy in? My first buy would have been the retest of the ascending triangle on XRP. It would have been the retest likely if it were to hold this formation. Right now, I wouldn't even have bought in yet. That's the thing that sucks. Unless I would have said, you know, because I would be convinced right now. I wouldn't buy in until it got sub. If I was selling right there, I would have had to have been convinced. I probably would have bought on this big 30% dump just to get put back in at somewhere in this 40s. I know I would have. Somewhere in this formation on this candle and the pullback up, it probably would have been around 46, 47 cents. But that's where I would have repositioned. A few $1,000s more in the pocket. But now, with the government trying to do that, they hit you with the 35% capital gains. Right? And now, what do you do? If I just keep it for a year, I get to keep 20% more of my money. And some people are like, who cares? Just pay the 30. I care. I care because it compounds on each other. It compounds. People don't understand what that means. No gains in Florida? Are you serious? Savage. I mean, I hear a lot of people say they're not going to pay the taxes. Good luck with that. Everybody can say taxes are voluntarily, but you know, that's what I keep saying. If you want to, I'm not willing to go to jail for it. I got kids. I got Julie. I got all of you. Jay, like a lottery tax. I mean, I'm not saying it's not unconstitutional. XRP Stu, thank you so much for that $10 donation. That is incredibly generous of you. Wow. That's incredibly generous. And I know tonight we're bouncing between the charts and I'm talking to you about stuff that you're asking, but this is how I like it. I like when we flow with the audience. No, what I said is no taxes in Switzerland. Oh, okay. Savage, no taxes in Switzerland. Nice. I wish we didn't have that. That would change my philosophy a lot. And it's not just a flat 35% tax. You can actually be charged more than just the capital gains if you are in a certain sector of the population, as somebody said in California. Certain states put it up to 50, but they just tax you on a second portion, like he's talking about, Mark is. JW, thank you so much for the $10 donation. You all are so generous. JW, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. Hope everything's been going well mentally. And that you've had a blessed last few weeks here. States with no capital gains tax. Alaska, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. That is awesome. I didn't realize we had so many states that still were fighting the capital gains. I imagine that's going to come to an end soon. Yes, they have federal. I don't know how the federal it constitutes, but To my knowledge, in the United States, every state has to declare their crypto gains. So, I don't know how some are going to... I mean, that's a dicey situation. Hopefully you understand. I mean, you obviously understand the law. Does Wendy's tax you? Well, I've never worked in fast food, but I'm assuming Wendy's taxes you. It's a corporation. So anyhow, back to XRP. So once again, in the short term, we're looking at this. We really are stuck here. We can't do anything yet. We have to see how this 4-hourly plays out. So honestly, tonight, this is going to be very boring, I think, because we've run out of options here. Because we have this gravestone doja, we don't have much impact here. This, though, that's what we have to decide right now. Because if this is a bear flag, we're going to come back down to about 436. If it's a bull flag, we're going to come back up and test 54 cents. Like, that's what's crazy about this. It did pull back up, so are we saying this is actually a bull flag? Because that's what it looks like it's disguised as. And could that gravestone doji be a distraction here? Like, could that be the... We're going to trick the technical trader because they think it's going to go bearish, and then we're going to go bullish here. Like, they're like, okay, time to short. Easy short here. Gravestone doji, bearish bias, yada, yada, yada. It's coming back down, and then it just comes back up. Like, is that what's going on? Is that what we think is happening? United States 15. United States means A, federal corporation. B, an agency, department, commission, board, or other entity of the United States. Or C, an instrumentality of the United States. 54 to $1.80. Does Wendy's tax you on crypto? I mean, if you buy something from Wendy's and use crypto, you're taxed on it because of the sale in the USA. Sam, thank you for the $9.99 donation. Seriously, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for your hard work. And happy Friday, Tom. Yes, happy Friday to you. Do you know what today is as well? Does anybody know what we're about to do soon? Now that we're into this, into the nitty gritty, and most people, 134 people in here, 135 left. Well, I mean, I'm sure Wendy's just taxes you on earnings. I don't know. What's so important about Wendy's? I'm not sure. Anyhow, today is FOMO Friday. Today we buy Casper. So anybody who's been participating in FOMO Fridays, wow, KM. Thank you very much. The $9.99 with the number one in a balloon. Tom keeps speaking the truth. I appreciate that, and I appreciate that sentiment as well. Yes, Jay, thank you so much for that. Seriously, KM. Thank you. Everybody who's done, thank you so much. Jan says FOMO Fridays. Yes, indeed. There's a strand called Pure Michigan. Yes, I have heard that as well. As long as it's below 80 cents, I would continue to buy. Of course, I would rather it be lower when I buy. Yeah, but if you keep the philosophy and you just keep buying at I like to buy 20% every drop. So, but, you know, I have my allotment until it gets below my buying. That's just a strategy I use. Bill Freer, we're here. We are in it to win it. Yes, indeed. Jay, Wendy's is irrelevant. Capital gains is high by itself. Yes, it is. Wendy's is just another corporation like US Inc. Fair enough. Ted, thank you. Savage, Wendy's, McDonald's, anytime except your... Exactly. Miss Vicky, yes. Casper Day. Bill Freer, I love Casper. Casper's a sleeping giant. ATK with a $10 donation. Wow, really, everybody? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tom, you're freaking amazing. I appreciate that. Yes, Sean, FOMO Fridays. Thank you, ATK, seriously. Also a month one subscriber in Tom's Army. As you can see, his me being abducted by aliens on his emoji bed. That's true. My face is superimposed. Trading with J-Ride. I think 37 cents on the table. 37 cents would be our next major support. Wow, another donation. You guys are super generous. C-Zam, thank you so much for the $10. Like, seriously, guys. Super generous. Super generous. No KYC cold wallet, folks. Get your shit together. Yep. KYC with the exchanges is becoming a new norm, especially like at the end of the month. KuCoin, I believe it's the 27th. You not only have to send in your license, you have to do facial recognition. And that's the truth. DGB will look at Russell. But CZAM, thank you so much for the $10 donation. That is so awesome. It's not a bad, listen, KYC is not a bad thing, but some people like to do on and offloading on exchanges. That means that they'll send money from one exchange, like a little bit of capital. They'll send it to another exchange, but that doesn't have a KYC. Maybe it has a crypto they want. Maybe they used it for staking, which I don't advise. Or maybe it just has a cryptocurrency that has it on that exchange. And then when they sell it for profits, they'll send it back to their other exchange. But they don't want to have to deal with the taxes on that exchange. Once you do the KYC, tax implications. Because then technically it can be found. But that's going to be part of the regulation. So that's something we're all just going to have to be used to. That's why I say just pay your taxes. Or pay your taxes through the exchange that you send it back to, and this is what you can do. You just pay it from your main exchange because everything goes back there, and that becomes your plus minus there. So you have to do it properly. It all comes back around, ladies and gentlemen. We can all talk big. We don't want to pay our taxes and stuff, but you better do what you got to do for real. So XRP, and then we're going to get into Casper because I want to do FOMO Fridays. XRP right now, if we lose 488, we have the underneath support of 433, but then underneath that, wow, John, thank you so much for the $9.99. You guys are very generous. Very generous. Like, I don't even know how many times I did a live, and when I would get a donation, it was so crazy because it was every once in a while, but tonight you guys are just, wow. Just thank you so much. It's a very humbling experience when people send their hard-earned money to support my work. And it does help because I don't accept paid advertising, promotion, sponsorships. You don't have to worry about that garbage in this station. So this does help, more than you know. Who sent that? John Perrick, thank you so much, and you're welcome. So if we go to the other chart real quick, this is where we would fall back down to if we go back to the all-time chart. We'll wait for this to load. This is the 2020 uptrend. And this will get you back down to 37.3 cents roughly. About 37 cents. 37.5. But that's how you get there. That is how you get there. So if we do lose our swing low at 433, your next support, really our next real support if we lose 488, is actually 37.5. Because do you think we're going to hold this if we come all the way back down? I don't know. That's just like the same case that I think we were going to hold the ascending triangle. I would have liked to have thought so, but I said it made me nervous. We were just going to fall right back in, and that's exactly what we did. See, and this, a nice spike up, and now we've just consolidated in here. So we're going to see. Our main thing is, do we hold the 488? That's the ascending triangle pattern. Then we've got 433. You lose that swing low, you got the 37.5 cents 2020 uptrend. That's where we sit right now. We can't sugarcoat it. We don't want to sugarcoat it. We want to know what's going on here. That I do. Right now, we're going to get a great buy on Casper this week. 356. 356 for Casper. We're in a descending formation. It's a multi-layer descending triangle, which is better known as a bear flag. You could make it into a bunch of patterns, but I just put all the resistances and supports out here for us. We broke out of here. But now we're in here. I prefer for us to trade back down while we're buying in. That's just my preference. So right now, Casper's got this little support here on the downtrending support. To stay in this layer, we'll go into the 4-hourly so it looks a little bit cleaner. We're trying to make a W reversal, so we'll see. We'll see. But we got to hold 350. Otherwise, the next support is down at 341. And then it breaks a little bit to 3.2. But this is the range it's been in for quite some time. You can go all the way back into mid-2023. And then it was up a little bit higher starting the year. But it's been in this rotation since about June. If we break it, then you could come even farther down. You'd have to test around 3.2 for the low levels. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. So let's buy Casper real quick. It's at, for FOMO Fridays. If you're tuning in for FOMO Fridays, let me know. as we buy $50 a week on FOMO Fridays. We started with H-bar. As I set this up, I'll fill you in. We started with H-bar end of May. We did 9 weeks, a 5.2 average. And for H-bar, we bought 10,057 tokens. Cost us $527. And we were able to do that as a community. It took us just 9 weeks. And then we switched over to Casper. Now, for Casper, we've so far got 6,337 tokens. We've spent $220, but we're down $24, I believe it is. So this is our 6th week of FOMO Fridays on Casper. So now this will put us firmly over 7,000 tokens. Our goal is to get to 10,000 on Casper. Then we move on to the next one. The next one would be the next one that's closest down. But we'll talk about that when we get closer. We still got several weeks left of Casper, so I don't want to talk about a bunch of them. We do have winning Wednesdays if you're interested in algo. We've so far bought over 3,000 tokens as a community. We do $75 a week. We started when algo was 96% down from its swing high in 2021, right around 10.8, 10.7. So we're doing that as well. That's going to take a little bit longer. So right now we're dedicating $125 a week to our ISO tokens or Internet of Things tokens, besides what we already own, ones that are way down in their cycle. So I'm going to do $51 because of the 99-cent fee for paying under $50 or under a certain amount. So we will get 1,376 Casper today. So preview trade, confirm trade. Man, we're closing in on the end of our Casper. Only 2 more weeks, it looks like. So with that being said, only 2 more weeks of Casper, it looks like, depending on where it's at next week. That's crazy. Isn't it funny how fast it fills? Now we have 7,715 Casper. Our average buy-in, because it does price it up on uphold pretty significantly on some things, is at 0.399. Even today, our buy-in, where it bought it at, was close. It wasn't at 3.5. It was closer to like 3.7.5. So right now we have 7,715 Casper, and we've put in $300 so far, but it's down to 300 or 274.50 right now. So, but we're getting better deals every week, and I'm assuming most people left because not a lot of people like FOMO Fridays, but that's okay. That's how we shuffle people out. And let me validate this, everybody. And then we'll go through the charts for about 15 minutes together for everybody who stayed in. Because I like to talk to everybody. And I also like to see the ones who are sticking it through for our future. You know, I like to see who's doing what. So that's what we bought in. You can see it very clearly. And then if you want to see the buy today, April 18th, right there. So that is what we've done. I appreciate everybody who stuck it out. I know it's not the most sexy thing, but there's going to be a lot of people that miss out on certain ones. And I think Casper's a great one. I think it's a great one. It's very undervalued. No, yeah, it's going to be a slow weekend likely. I would like to see this weekend if we were to get a rejection. Let me go into the other chart because this one doesn't do me anything. We need the short-term chart. The overall chart is what gets us to 37 cents. The grand chart, it's their loss. Tom, your info is on point. Hey, I appreciate that. Well, look at it this way. You know, most people only care about XRP. You know, but builds character for the ones who are here still. I agree, Jan. And plus, I can talk to more people now. That's the other reason I like doing it. Matt, you did FOMO Fridays. Awesome. Awesome. Let me go through real quick to see who likes FOMO Fridays. CZAM, my goal is 20,000 ISO tokens long term. Excellent. Excellent, CZAM. JS, here come race cars again. Yes. Still want to grab more algo. Every single Wednesday we do winning Wednesdays for algo, and we're going to be doing it until I get to 10,000 tokens with the community. So we still got to buy 7,000 more. So we'll be doing that for a good probably 10, 11 more weeks. Law Docs, XRP sideways movement looks great to me. Yep, the sideways movement is nice. We don't want to lose this area right here. Otherwise, we're going to have to contend with the swing low at 433 approximately. Then it's back to the 2020 uptrend at 37.4 cents roughly. If you lose that, then it gets real interesting. We'll talk about XLM and DGB tonight as well, everybody. JS still here. I appreciate that so much. Mr. Extra Sour Cream Supreme. Or Taco Supreme sideways all weekend. Agree, probably. I think it could come up to 54 cents, but that would be part of the sideways action. Miss Vicky just bought my Casper. Love it, Tom. Thank you so much, Miss Vicky. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I love everybody who joins in with it. Russell, I love FOMO Fridays. I appreciate that greatly. JW, oh, it's sexy. I agree. I agree. Sam, it's their loss. Your info is on point. Thank you, Sam. Matt did FOMO Fridays. Thank you. Kate Wilson, 37 cents by Sunday, August 20th, 100% guaranteed. As long as we break this down, it's a better than not. If we break this 488 barrier, it's about a 75% certainty we would probably break through the 432. It's not guaranteed in the 433, but 37 cents would be next on deck. The mosquitoes harassed you into waking up and watching your show. Hey, I appreciate the mosquitoes in this one circumstance. So that's what we're looking at, folks. I know we can keep talking about, well, 106 people back in here. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, everybody. I do. I really do. So that's what we're at with XRP. If it breaks this structure, like I said, I expect XRP to come up here in the 4-hour time frame and retest the broken, not just the falling wedge that it fell out of, but this is also the pattern resistance up here. And this could confirm that we're overly bearish. But remember, in the weekly, it doesn't close until Sunday. So it could also be a huge fake out down here in the weekly. Because if you look at the weekly candle, it's a big wick right now. You won't know until the candle closes. It very well could pull right back up to 54 cents on top of this ascending triangle breakout point, and it would just be a wick down and it would have still closed the weekly. That's why we're in such a weird spot with a thinly traded weekend. So some will be like, it can go up and it can go down. I mean, anything can go up and down. Your checking book can go up and it can go down. Your credit balance can go up and it can go down. Your tank of gas goes up and it goes down. There's only two ways, up and down. You know, but the sideways action also speaks a lot. The formation speak more than the up and down. That's how you understand whether or where it's going to go if it does break up or down. Don't you like to know where it can go before it goes? Don't you like to know that on the all-time chart, it's already a roadmap for you? If it breaks down, you don't even need to guess. Why guess? Isn't it nice to not have to guess? Oh, we'll do the technical analysis on Casper real quick as well, everybody. I promise. We'll do the TA. Oh, no, we did a little bit of it, but we'll probably touch back on it again. But I think we already touched it now that I think about it. But look, if we lose the short-term formation, just follow me real quick. Short-term formation. We were in the falling wedge, and because it's a short-term formation, I got to lower the chart. It's harder to see. Falling wedge broke down, ascending triangle pattern, we're within, had a wick down, but right now we're back within. Well, once we broke through, you know what we had to do when this was falling? Let's flip it to the all-time pattern, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, it fell to the ascending triangle, no need to pattern, because guess what? 2020 uptrend was next on deck. If it comes through, had a wick back up, which now we have a swing low on our other chart, which now we have to go back to our other chart because this is the short-term chart. We have a swing low here, so we might as well just understand it. It's a little bit lower than here. I think it was like 433. I like to put it lower than it is. That's good enough. So now that's our swing low. If you break that and get rejected, guess what? We can already draw our conclusion that our technical target, if we get rejected here, ready? You ever hear my titles when I say, if XRP gets rejected at 433, it signals a drop of this much. If XRP gets rejected by 433, it signals a 13.49% drop. That's how you can front run the patterns, ladies and gentlemen. Brett, I don't personally use a wallet or ledger. I like Uphold for what I'm doing. And the only reason I like Uphold, and this isn't to say the ledger's worse or bad or Uphold's the best or the greatest thing since sliced bread. I just like their motto there. I like the fact that they deliver precious metals, so they're held to a higher standard. A lot of people might not understand that who just trade crypto, but when you deliver precious metals all over the world and you deliver bullion, you have to past more than just a crypto exchange. So there's a lot of things you have to be held accountable to. And there's a lot of licensing you have to get, and you can't breach it. Otherwise you lose you can't be the dealer anymore. So they're not make it or break it in crypto. That's what I try to, so they're more like a brokerage, but they're not, there's no guarantee that they're safe. It's just who I trust. Um, 1970 legend. Of all the X's, I think XDC will pop the most meaningful. First, what's your thoughts? XDC is the most undervalued right now of the three X's. XDC, if we look at total supply, I believe, let me look it up real quick. Where's it at right now? So they have a $13.8 billion total max circulating supply. So if you consider the difference, or 37.5 billion is the max. Yeah, so their total supply is pretty close to XRP. Not close, I mean 37.5 billion is their max circulating supply. They only have 12.3 billion in comparison to XRP's 53 billion roughly in circulation right now. So it'll be a lot easier to pop up, that is for sure. Thank you for the $4.99. But the most meaningful one, there's a possibility that when XRP has a big run, that, oh, even before XRP has a run, let's take a look at XDC so I can answer that question. Okay, see XRP's at 509. Before we go to the question, let's look at that gravestone doji. Remember what we talked about. Right now, this move doesn't matter until we break. Remember I said they could trap the shorts, or the ones going long here on a quick little move up. You have to break that here, I'm going to mark this here. 5103 to try to start invalidating this gravestone doji. Otherwise, you can come up here and get rejected, even if you barely, shoot it, and then you come right back through. That's a liquidity grab here in a short time frame. Or we can invalidate this, is what we're trying to do here. So that's how tight this is. 5103. So watch 5103. And then obviously the underneath is 488. Whoops. What happened here? I don't even... Mexi. It's been so long I logged on there that it's not even logged in anymore. But it's either we break past there and try to invalidate that gravestone doji, or we come back up, break over the 5103 basically. That's the short-term move that we have to invalidate that previous candle. And then it's worse than that. We would have to stay on top of 51 cents, which is why it's also important. It's not just that's how we invalidate the gravestone doji. You see how the trading bots work? Once you know the knowledge. Now look, where is the weekly support right now? Oh, that's right. Right there. 51 cents. How convenient is it that right now we put the gravestone doji and we have to break 51 cents to invalidate the previous candle? It's all lined up. It all plays. These are all trading bots. I know it. They have to be. Look at the weekly time frame volume. You're telling me, and this is another thing. Remember how we were talking about discrepancies in volume? I don't know how many people are getting the message. 111 people. That is plenty of people getting the message that came back after Casper. I commend each and every one of you who are here. Seriously. But remember how we were talking with the market cap? How the hell did we dump 9 billion if there's only 1.6 billion in volume moving? Well, how is this overly bearish? If you had a 453 million candle on the weekly, and on this dump candle with 2 days left, it's 105 million. This might get to 150 million, 160 million, maybe 170 if we're lucky. That's less, that's almost, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that make sense? So, I mean, look at everything we know. Crashing volume, crashing price. Very bullish for a bullish reversal at some point. But 37.5 cents, and as much as I would like it to just go up, why don't we just finish this? Each of the first 2 times in the weekly, ready? We had a golden cross here for the first time for XRP. Went up, corrected more than 60%. We had our second golden cross in the weekly. Let me go to the other chart because I have it labeled so you can see it. So our first golden cross in XRP's history in the weekly happened here. Back in 2020, early 2020. Up 60% correction. Second one Ready? Up. Second one. Up. Boom. We had better than it was at least a 60% correction both of the first two times. Now, the third time, we measured it out. To get to a 60% correction from the top, watch how crazy this is. This is why when we first said this, how likely would it be to dump right back down to the 2020 uptrend? I mean, look at this. You can't make this up. Like, if I tried to make this up, I couldn't. And right now, I'm going from 92.3 cents. So that's not even the top. Oh, let me go to the top. What am I talking about? How am I going to show an example if I'm not going to where it was actually at? That's pretty lazy. So, think about this. 936, 37.5 cents, roughly. That's a 60% drop. You can't make this up. So after the weekly golden cross, if we have to correct again, there's your 60% drop to the 2020 uptrend. Each of the first two times we had a weekly golden cross, we made that exact correction before the next move up. I mean, think about that. You can't make that up. Like, how could it possibly line up that perfectly every single time if we're not being traded? There's not trading bots. And that's why I said I would have sold the first time around if there wasn't the capital gains tax. But I don't like to feed the government my money because it compounds as you do it over and over and over. Every time you futures trade, it compounds over and over and over. Like, it's not, it costs a lot of money. And sometimes a little money not made in the short term is a lot saved at, when it comes to tax time here. Until you've been there and got hammered with it. I had 1 year a tax return that was supposed to be, $8,000 or $9,000. And because of the capital gains tax, I got like less than $3,000 back in 2021 after making the 12 or 13,000. That was a big slap in the face. I was like, holy sh. And most people that will argue with my strategy are ones that have never made significant gains. They're the ones who say I'm not going to pay my taxes. Good luck. Seen that game. So I approached, like I said, in 2021 when we sold out at $1.66 after a 47-cent average. I told everybody, this time around, yeah, and after 1 year, Jay, that's why I have this strategy. After 1 year, it goes down to 15%. That's why the big institutions, they don't mind having losses for a year, because then the next year, if they have to sell out, they'll sell out on December, the last day the market's open of December. They'll sell their stuff at a loss. They'll buy it right back first trading day. They don't care what the price is, because then they wipe the books and that's a loss for them. Vice versa, if they have big gains, they'll sell it out at the end of the year. If they have losses that year, they sell it out. They don't care if they're making a bunch of money, and then they'll buy it back no matter what the price is on the next trading day and the new year, because that's how they do it. Miss Vicky, no. Not yet. Not yet. It's going to take more than this to lose the golden cross. See, this is the optics here. Even with the weekly close all the way down at 37, we wouldn't lose it yet. We would not re-invalidate this move yet. It would take more than 1 week. I just think it's funny. We don't know if that's going to be enough, but we haven't invalidated anything just yet. That's the optics here. We haven't invalidated anything. That's the truth. We first have to close the week under 54 cents to even start pushing down that way. We could very well close it above the weekly 20-day still. It's at 548 approximately. Anything over the ascending triangle would be fine. So if you could get back up in here at the 545 approximately, and I know it doesn't seem that far away, but right now XRP, and look, it hasn't even done anything while we've been talking. See how close of a narrow range it is? That 5103 is going to be like a resistance from hell right now. DGB also showing bearish. This was a neutral candle. See this? This looks like a long leg doji for looks like it in the weekly. But now we had this big correction here for DGB. But look how far we came down, 603. We're back up to 692. Then we start to break it down into the smaller time frames. So what's really going on? Well, we talked about the death cross with DGB. We knew we had to come down once we broke that support. How far? Well, we don't have any support in here until we come all the way down here. So we talked about a possible revisit down to the 006. We didn't know how quick it would happen. But that's if you break down. If you don't come up and hold the pivot levels, I have them there for a reason. There's volatility in between. There's nothing. When I say there's nothing when I talk like this, there's nothing. That's why I always with DGB, I said, some of you who didn't get a buy-in where I got it right around this level and this, not this formation, it was farther back. Formation right here. Started buying it in this formation back in 2022 when I started buying XRP. You had a chance here to buy that formation. And you might get another chance here to buy the formation. This one I got a little bit cheaper than the first one, which is great. But I'm loyal. I don't buy it anywhere in here. Came here, bought 10,000 more. Comes up, maybe comes down, maybe I'll buy more. But not during this whole run. So we'll see what happens. So this is with DGB. So now DGB, ironically, 712. That's our first layer in the 4-hourly. Where's that drop? I like to measure the drop point. That's so important. That becomes such a big resistance there. So you have to get past 711. That's the drop point where we consolidated back up and ultimately got rejected by the 7-4. That's a bad rejection because we never got up to this downtrending resistance. We never even got to form the real lower low structure that I was looking for. We didn't come up high enough. It almost feels like this was not finished. But we need liquidity. Obviously, there wasn't enough. We had a volatile spike. Now we're going to see. That's a big level for DGB. So just pay attention to that. I know not everybody's a fan of DGB, but it's my baby. After all, I'm the XRP future millionaire with the side bet on XLM and future DigiByte OG. And I love that name. It's just so hard for people to understand who I am when I have to say my name. That's my actual name. I used to say it all the time. So that's what we're waiting for with XRP and DGB and the rest. XLM. Remember we talked about XLM on the live several times. Well, maybe you don't remember. How can I say you remember? Do you remember? How about I just explain it? We've talked about in the past, if we lost the 12.5 level, that would bring us down to the next layer of support is the ascending triangle breakout. Well, this was a descending. Wait a minute. That's a weird one. That's more like a bear flag in the higher time frame. When you get into the higher one, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So as it played out, we came way up with XLM. Once we lost 12.5, the technical target was down here. The only reason this is in here is because this is the resistance now. Now you have to break. You've created another layer. Remember I said when you come down, you create new layers of resistance. That's how we know this is like a brick wall. So you can't even get to 12.5 until you get back on top of 11.8. And this was the old drop of support where it held, came back up, and then finally broke through. That means there was something happening there. So then you would look for a resistance there. Or you just get a resistance at 12.5 and just call it a day and start trading in here. Wow, trading with J-Ride. Thank you very much for the $10. I so appreciate that. I so greatly appreciate it. $10 of your hard-earned money. You guys are so generous. I don't even know what else to say. Thanks for the DGB knowledge. You're very welcome. And with DigiByte, the reason why it's so important is it's part of the Internet of Things. I highly advise everybody to learn the Internet of Things. Theta's part of it. VeChain's part of it. IOTA's part of it. And then everybody always asks me, well, Tom, why do you buy Zill? Well, I'll tell you why I buy Zill. It's a good question. They have the Zilliqa network. They're very big into the meme gaming and very big into the AI world, the virtual reality side of things. They've been in this a lot longer than most. And like this formation is so beautiful. Like I always tell you guys, this is where we're trying to reestablish an uptrend. This is the bigger channel we're in, the falling channel, which at the end is a bullish reversal. But being a falling channel, that means a bullish reversal could come at 002 and it could have a, a huge uptake back up. But what we're looking for right now is if this is establishing a new layer of support, this has to fill out. We acknowledge this. But we had big break up, big dump for liquidity. But because you know the pattern, this has been here this whole time. We've talked about this whole time. Just because it went here, if it didn't break to the top and it got rejected out of this formation, technical target was here. Remember the silent one when we did? This is what we were drawing. This was the technical breakdown. It hit it. Now what could have happened? A double bottom, a triple bottom. Or this is the massive M topping reversal. And now you would have a liquidity flush of massive proportions and a massive proportion liquidity dump. That would mean that our greatest dreams would come true with Zill. I don't think it's going to go down there in the anytime future, in the anytime near future. But if it went to 002, I don't even know how many I would buy at that point because of how cheap it would be. I've only dumped in like, I don't even know, $200 maybe, 220. I don't even know what it was. It was not a lot. So I'm just letting it bounce around here. It's not to my buy-in yet. It's right there. Yeah, it's right there now, see? Now it's finally back to there. This is the formation when I had to buy it finally, Zill. Now it's finally revisited. But see, you don't buy it all the way up here. That ruins your average. My next chance, and I was mad. Remember I said I didn't get enough. And then it went, well, now I'm getting another chance if it breaks down. That's a big drop if it doesn't. Man, oh man. That's why I always say I have dry powder, everybody. Dry powder is your greatest friend and your biggest ally. Indeed. So what does everybody think about Zill? Does anybody know anything about Zill? I know we're winding down here. It's been well over an hour and 11 minutes. But I'm still trying to finish my relaxation with you. And truth be told, the group that's in here is my favorite. I love it. I love this group. Nothing about Zill. Well, you know, since I like to learn, Zilliqa network. And Zill, I sold over 20 cents in the bull market of 2021. I mean, you talk about buying it at the 1415 level. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I've saved so much on the rebuy back ends after making good money, hundreds of percent of my money in 2021, that it's just, you go through the accumulation phase. So I'm trying to find a good one so that I can show everybody. I might as well just go to Zill. I'll just go to the Zill. I'll just go to Zill. I always just type in the white papers and then it'll bring you up to the nice technicalities. I like technicalities, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody's gonna leave here and that's fine. Because this is the ending here. We've already covered everything. If you want to see anything else, you're more than welcome to go back to the beginning while we're all having a little bit of an extra fun here. But if you appreciate my work, make sure to hit that like button. Consider joining Tom's Army. And also hit that subscribe button and join the more than 18,100 subscribers. And this is from August 10th, 2017. So I like to actually see the white papers before any of the amendments and everything, just to see what we're looking at here. So, Zilliqa Technical White Paper, version 0.1. So, existing cryptocurrencies and smart contract platforms are known to have scalability issues, i.e. the number of transactions they are capable of processing per second is limited, usually less than 10. As the number of applications utilizing public cryptocurrencies and smart contract platforms grow, the demand for processing high transaction, yada, yada, yada. So in this work, for processing high transaction rates in the order of hundreds and thousands of TXS is increasing. In this work, we present Zilliqa, a new blockchain platform that is designed to scale in transaction rates. As the number of miners in Zilliqa increases, the transaction rates are expected to increase. At Ethereum's present network size of 30,000 miners, Zilliqa would expect to process about 1,000 times the transaction rates of Ethereum. Let me repeat that. and this is 2017. Ethereum's present network size of 30,000 miners right now in 2017. At that time, Zilliqa would expect to process about 1,000 times the transaction rates of Ethereum. So what is Zil? What's the Zilliqa network? These are one of the ones where I say I would never own Ethereum because there's many more that could take its place and can already do it. I mean, think about that. 1,000 times more transaction rate than Ethereum. And you're talking about it's at 1.4. Oh, don't worry. I will do a standalone update on this one day. I told everybody I would do it when it was cheaper. I didn't want to do it at 20 cents because it wasn't the right time, because then everybody would buy Zil. Once you find out this information, another part over here, in particular to the right side, that I'm going to show you as well. So, the cornerstone in Zilliqa's design is the idea of dividing the mining network into smaller shards, each capable of processing transactions in parallel. Zilliqa further proposes an innovative, special-purpose smart contract language of execution environment that leverages the underlying architecture to provide a large-scale and highly efficient computation platform. The smart contract language in Zilliqa follows a data flow programming style, which makes it ideal for running large-scale computations that can be easily parallelized, whatever. So, this is the transactions. Cryptocurrency and smart contract platforms are becoming a shared computational resource. One could view these platforms as a new generation of computers that synchronize over thousands of individual computers. However, existing cryptocurrencies and smart contracts platforms have widely recognized limitations in scaling. This is where it gets juicy, folks, and it might make some of you a little uneasy because of what we're all told about certain things. Nobody talks about Zil, remember. I talk about it, but very little people will encourage you to buy Zil when it's at these levels, especially if it goes down more. So, average transaction rates in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and related cryptocurrencies have been limited to below 10, usually about 3 to 7 transactions per second. That's 3 to 7,000, thousands of transactions per second. As the number, and what is XRP? 3,500 transactions per second. As the number of applications utilizing public cryptocurrency and smart contract platforms grow, the demand for processing high transaction rates in the order of hundreds of thousands, is what I'm assuming that is increasing. And TX, I don't know, I think that's what it is. A global payment network would likely require tens of thousands of TXs in capacity. Tens of thousands, I want to say. Can we build a decentralized and open blockchain platform capable of processing at that scale? The limitations in scaling up existing protocols are somewhat fundamental. They are rooted in the design of mining. So, consensus and network protocols. So let's get to the nitty-gritty. So, we present Zilliqa. So let's read what this says, the last part of it. Therefore, even though re-engineering the parameters of the existing protocol in, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum, the block size or the block rate may show some speed up. To support applications, block rate may show some applications that need processing of thousands of TXs, thousands of transactions per second is what I want to say. I think that's what it is. Yeah, thousands of transactions per second. However, requires rethinking the underlying protocols from scratch. We present Zilliqa, a new blockchain platform that is designed to scale in transaction rates. Number of miners in Zilliqa increase, its transaction rates are expected to increase as well. Specifically, Zilliqa's design allows its transaction rates to roughly double with every few hundred nodes added to its network. As of the writing, the Ethereum mining network is over 30,000 nodes. At Ethereum's that was in 2017, remember. Present capacity, Zilliqa would expect to process about 1,000 times the transaction rates of Ethereum. I mean, think about that. Zilliqa was a redesign from scratch and has been under research and development for over 2 years. The cornerstone in Zilliqa's design is the idea of sharding, dividing the mining network into smaller consensus groups called shards, each capable of processing transactions in parallel. If the mining network of Zilliqa is, say, 8,000 miners, Zilliqa automatically creates 10 sub-networks each of 800 miners in a decentralized manner without a trusted coordinator. Now, if one sub-network can agree on a set of, say, 100 transactions, in one time epoch, then 10 sub-networks can agree on a total of 1,000 transactions and aggregate. The key is aggregating securely is that subnet networks process different transactions with no overlaps. So we can keep going into this at a later date, but there is a lot of stuff with Zill. I mean, a lot. I mean, that should already tell you with speeds, how it already talks about it, but that is incredible with Zill. That just is that's the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe that would shed a little light for some of you. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I appreciate each and every one of you. I agree, Olga. Zill is creating a huge game changing. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay blessed. Miss Vicky, Olga, love. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jay, The Focus, JS, everybody who stuck around until the end. God bless you. Have a good night, and I'll catch you later on a later update.